1.
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Balkan Duha 171. राजा के उपरोहित ही हरि लई गए बहोरी, लई राखे सिगिरी खो हम हो, माया करी मति भोरी। श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा,
श्री राम जय जय रामा,
श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा। आप बिरची उपरोहित रूपा, परे ऊजाई तेहि सेज अनूपा। जागे नृपन भये बिहाना, देखी भवन अति अचर जुमाना। श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम कीन्ह विविध तप तीनिहु भाई परम उग्र नहीं परनि सो जाई गए निकट तप देखि विधाता मांगहु वर प्रसन्न मैं ताता करि विनती पद गहि दस
रामचंद्र की जय। पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। बोलिए भाई सब संतन की जय। बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय।
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। Let us all do salutations to Lord Ganesh, to Mother Saraswati, to our Guru, to Bhagwan Ram. गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं कपितजम्बो फलसारभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम् या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापहा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। मंगलभवन मंगलहारी द्रव दशरथ अजिर बिहारी श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए बरु बचन न जाए।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम।
राम कथा है तेई अधिकारी, जिनके सत्संग गति अति प्यारी। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
बिनु सत्संग विवेक न होई, राम कृपा बिनु सुलभ न सोई।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
होई ही सोई जो राम रचि राखा, वो करि तर्क पढ़ावे साखा। श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
काहू न को सुख दुख कर दाता, निज कृत कर्म भोग सब भ्राता।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम
राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
राजा राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम राम।
बोलो राम 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 सीता राम राम।
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। Okay, let me welcome all of you to this satsang tonight. For those of you who are listening, it is about plenty nights. I don't know if it's 20 or plenty. 18. It is 18th night, and we are here at the Ringberg Mandir. When we left it last night in Esperanza, Pratapanu had gone to sleep. Now we have to wake him up. A very special head, you want to Pandit. Ramesh Tiwari ji, who is sitting here. I didn't realize you were sitting here, Pandit. Pratapanu had gone to sleep on the prompting of his now mentor, guru, and all that, who we are calling a Kapat Muni. Tapasvi, Kapat Muni, like that, all sorts of names. Tulsidaji himself uses many names to refer to a former king who had assumed the Vesha. Vesha means outer garb. Assumed the Vesha of a Muni. And he had also felt the he had also suffered loss at the hands of this Pratapanu, who was a very great king, Samrat. And he saw a very good opportunity to now take some revenge on this Pratapanu. So taking the vesh of a Muni, he was sitting in the forest, and Pratapanu got lost. Or so we think. We'll realize today that he did not get lost. Now, Pratapanu went to sleep. The so-called Muni told him, you go sleep. When you wake up, you will be in your palace. He was lost in the forest, sleeping in the hut of that Kapat Muni. But now, he said, go sleep. When you wake up, you will be in your palace. And Pratapanu went to sleep. And this Kapat Muni, of course, couldn't sleep because he was seeing now it is a big opportunity. You have to understand the situation. He was a king. He had a kingdom. Pratapanu went across the world, conquering all kingdoms, bringing everybody under his control. It's called Samrat. And this particular king did not want to come under the control of this Pratapanu. So he ran away. So he knew Pratapanu, but Pratapanu did not know him. And there he assumed the vesh of a Muni in the forest. And Pratapanu, now lost in the forest, ends up right there. Well, when he went to sleep that night, being promised that he will wake up at home in his palace, that time Tulsidashi now introduces another 169 ke baad, another dimension of this story. Now see this, after 169. काल केतु निशिचर तह आवा, श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम।
जहि सुकर होई नृपहि बुलावा,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
परम मित्र तापस नृप केरी, परम मित्र तापस नृप केरा,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
जानई सो अति कपट घनेरा,
श्री राम जय राम।
दही के सत सुत अरुदस भाई, अति अजय देव दुखदाई,
श्री राम जय जय राम।
जय रघुराम
जय रघुराम।
जय सीताराम जय
सीताराम।
श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय। काल केतु निशिचर तह आवा. Now, Pratapanu has gone to sleep. The Kapat Muni is awake. And who came there? Kala Ketu. Kala Ketu is introduced in Ramayana now for the first time. His name comes. Then, Kala Ketu, Nisichara. Nisichara means Rakshas. Jatuthan. So many names are there for Rakshasas. Huh? Nisichara Taha Ava. He came now to that hut. Then, Jehi Sukar Hoi Nripahi Bhulawa. So, see that way. The king really did not get lost. This Kala Ketu had taken the form of that boar, that wild boar, and had misled him and brought him to that little hut, that ashram. You see? So, Kala Ketu now seems to be, well, if he has brought him to that hut and not any other hut, that means he's a friend of this Kapat Muni. So the Kapat Muni, the king who lost his kingdom and became this Kapat Muni, he now teamed up. he made alliance with Kala Ketu, Rakshasa. And now Kala Ketu is being described. Paramamitra Tapas Nripat Kera. He was a great friend of this Tapas Nripa, now he is called. Instead of Kapat Muni, Tapas Nripa. Tapas Nripa means the king who is doing tapas. Then Janaiso Atikapat Ghanera. This Kala Ketu had tremendous powers. Atikapat. And what kind of powers? Delusive power, to delude, to cause trouble to everybody. Ghanera means tremendous amount, thick, plenty. Teike sat sut aru das bhai khala ati ajaya deva dukhdai pratamahi bhup samar sab mare vipra sant sura dekhi dukhare. Tehi khala pachil bayaru sambhara, that he had 100 sons and 10 brothers, and they were killed by devas, and various people conspired and killed them. So this fellow, this Kala Ketu, and so he had great vengeance in his mind. He wanted to take revenge, and he teamed up with this king. Now this king wanted to take revenge because he was dethroned by Pratapanu. So now two people want to take revenge. Now it is bad when even one person wants to take revenge, but now two of them, and they team up now. Let me tell you one more thing. I have heard Sant Mahatmas telling in India, and I think it is true thing. Bad people team up real fast, and good people never team up. Anytime you have you see anywhere you go, see a bunch of druggies, right? Them is always bhai, you want a pull, take one day. He'll give him a pull, isn't it? Druggie, take a little snot. I don't know what you call it. He will quickly, that fellow is a real friend always. And other people who are even religious people, man, have a nice Ramayana home, comfort. You'll never tell our next Ramayanist. He will ask him, you want to give me? Look here, this what I'm telling, what Sant Mahatma Log say, this is not only this because they feel like saying, they say this is in scriptures also. You see Bhagavan Shri Krishna explaining all Durgunas in Gita. Jhayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate. Sangar sanjayate kama. Kamar krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhavati samboha ityadi. From one bad quality to the next. And all of them there. The same man who has kam, he has krodh, he has lobh, he has moha, matsara, ityadi, everything. Because once you have one, all of them, there's a team. They never, separate. But good qualities, gunas, sugun, one, and he never teams up with the other. And you know what is the reason? Because somehow when people get knowledge or when people get something, that time, what happens? Any praise that comes, the fellow feels that is my praise. He takes the praise for him. And let's say all the Swamis are praised. All the Swamis, they're doing a good job. Let somebody say, every Swami will think, it's because of me. He will think that praise, all were praised, but he will think that it was because of me. He take the praise. And if you tell about the bad fellas, if you tell anything about the bad fellows, and these druggies, these drug pushers and all, they're making trouble for we. All of them going to be talking about all of them. We are group. Bye-bye. Them have bye-bye. We are bye-bye. So now, two evil fellows got together. And they're going to wreak havoc now on everything and everybody. So now, when Kala Ketu showed up, there's Tapas Nripa, Kapat Muni, I'll use whichever name come in my mind at the time. You should know who I'm talking about. Tapas Nripa, Kapat Muni. All name Tulsidaji uses only, so I will use. Tapas, Ripu, Tejas, Tulsidaji gives a little warning, a note, like that. What is, see Tulsidaji's one? Ripu Tejasi Akela Api, Laghu Kari Ganiya Natahu. Ajahudet Dukh Rabi Sasihi Sir Avaseshita Rahu. Means a highly spirited enemy, even though he's alone, you should never discount him, because he's highly spirited. One man, he can wreck. Have a highly spirited enemy, even though alone, he says. What is it? Akela api. This is Tulsidaji's warning. And now, two highly spirited enemies. Imagine. Ay. Then, after 170, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Nrip nij sakhi nihari. Harashi mileu uthi bhayau sukhari. Mitra hi kahi sab katha sunai. जातु धान बोला सुख पाई. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्यावर रामचंद्र की जय. तापस नृपन निज सखई Nihari, when the Kapat Muni now, Tapas Nripa, saw his friend, Harashi Mileu Ti Bhayau Sukhari, he was happy beyond words, like that. Mitra hi kahi sab katha sunai, and he told now all things. What all things? Well, this Pratapanu, Pratap Rabi, he fell head over heels for me as his guru. And he believed everything which I told him, that I am Ekatanu. I took a body at the time of the manifestation of the universe, and I have not changed that body. He believed everything which I told. And I hatched a plan nicely for him to bring all Brahmanas under his control. And he is ready to execute that plan. And Jatu Than Bola Sukh Pai. And this Kala Ketu or Rakshasa, he got extreme joy when he heard this. And all this thing is going to be executed within 4 days. 4 days is the timeline. Hena. The word Juguti was used in the beginning of time. Remember I was telling you about the word Juguti? Juguti means yukti, rationally and all. And this is a very, very important thing in presenting anything in a very logical, rational fashion. What is that? Their timeline has to be given. So these conspirators, they are better than ordinary people, better than us. We just talk and we don't make timeline, we don't put anything. But he put a timeline also. Now everything, suppose you're going to buy a property. You pay 10% down and you have 3 months to pay. Timeline is given in it. It's required. So see how within 4 days everything will be executed. We tell, come now, when to come anytime. But they are like lawyers actually. You come anytime by my house, I dare. Now their plan what? We will uproot this king, Pratapanu, with his whole family. This is the plan. How devious that plan. Chaute Devasa, me love me, on the 4th day, I will meet you after executing this plan. The Kala Ketu now. Now see, Tapas Nripa is the one who was claiming to have all of the powers and all of that. But really speaking, he had no powers. He couldn't do anything. He teamed up with this Kala Ketu who had all the powers. Kala Ketu had taken the form of that boar to first of all mislead Pratapanu to that hut. So he is using up or claiming the power of his friend. People do that quite often. Yeah, don't worry, man, I'll get that done for you. He wouldn't do it. He'll get somebody else to do it. We get name and fame on other people's power. Not good thing. Now Bhanu Pratap he baji sameta pauchaesi chanamaja niketa. And really, when Kala Ketu came, in a flash, he was able to transport Pratapanu and his horse to his palace. In a flash. Nripahi naripahi sayana karai. He found himself sleeping next to his wife on his own bed. What power this Kala Ketu had. Haya griha bandesi baji banai. His horse was also tied and everything. Horse and king reached there. Kala Ketu now put his plan into action. What is the plan? Now see 171 starts. जाके उपरोहित ही हरि ले गयऊ बहोरी राम हरि ले गयऊ बहोरी ले राखे सिगिरी खोमहू माया करी मति भोरी सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम Kala Ketu, the plan was all worked out nicely and all, because Tapas Nripa had told what he'll do. Kala Ketu came to the palace of Pratapanu, and there he kidnapped the priest, Raja Purohit. He kidnapped and took him and put him in some cave, Mati Bhori, and befuddled his mind. With all his powers, he befuddled the mind of the priest and kept him in a cave somewhere. Then he assumed the role of the priest. That was part of the plan. Jage undripa anabhaye bihana dekhi bhavana ati acharaja mana. And then the king woke up. And he was astounded. And now, whatever all Tapas Nripa, Kapat Muni had told him, now he's convinced. Oh, really? Look, I slept in his little hut and I woke up in my own bed. You think is correct? Muni Mahima Mana Mahu Anumani. Then it means to say he was awed by the power and greatness of the Muni. Puranara Narina Janu. Nobody in the city knew anything. What he did, he got up and he stealthily left his kingdom early morning before the queen even got up. She also did not know. And he rode his horse into the outskirts of the city. And then about noon, he rode back in. And everybody, our king came back. He was lost for days. He was lost. Everybody thought he was king, and there's a big utsav and everything going on. Then, next part of the plan now. Already conquered the, what is a kidnap the priest? 172. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. भ्रमवस रहा न चेत तुरे तुरक सत सहस वर विप्र कुटुंब समेत सिया सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरण सीताराम Ramachandra ki jai. Nripa Harshev Pehchani Guru. Now when he came back to the palace after, and all the utsav and everything is done, now what? He saw the priest. Knowing, but he was told all that plan before, but this is not my real priest. This is my guru in the form of the priest. Really it is Kala Ketu. This is called a delusion. Really speaking, this king has become deluded. I told you that this moha word, moha. Please pay attention to this word. Moha means when we see, think, or understand. All three, or either one. See, think, or understand anything other than what it is. That is called as moha. And usually, we have the very deadly form of it. What is it? We see the thing opposite to what it is. That's why Sarparajju example is given in the scriptures. A snake and rope. Because it is opposite from every standpoint. One is jada and one is chetan. Rope is jada. Snake is chetan. Rope is inert, dead. Snake is alive, conscious. So it is opposite. So moha word is a big word. Now see, he is thinking that is Kapat Muni is his well-wisher, is his benefactor. He is going to do something for him. Well, this is really the opposite. This is called a delusion. Moha word. Now see, when he saw that priest, he said, aha, here is my guru in the form of the priest. Because Nripa Harshev Pehichani Guru, and see the word which is given there, Brahmam Basa Rahan Nachet. Brahma is used by Tulsidas ji throughout this Ramayana, along with the word moha as synonyms. Brahma and moha. As synonyms. There's slight, if you go to Sanskrit, this is Avadhi of course, if you take the two words in Sanskrit, there's slight difference between the two. But really, for all purposes, Brahma and Moha, they are one and same. And so he uses them interchangeably in the Ramayana. Brahma word in Sanskrit means confused. Confused. Now confusion is part of delusion. Moha means delusion. For delusion to take place, some confusion would have preceded already. Delusion. Moha is delusion. When we see things upside down and all. So now, he said the king had lost his mind. Brahmavasa, Rahana Chet, Bare Turata, Sata Sahasabara, Vipra Kutumba Samit. And immediately the king quickly invited Sata Sahasra. Sata Sahasra is around 100,000 Brahmanas. Sata means 100 and Sahasra means 1,000. He invited 100,000 Brahmanas immediately. And his guru already promised and assured him that he is able to cook for all. One rasoi, one cook. One grandfather, he was boasting to his little son. He was telling, I was in the army, Really, grandpa, you were in the army? Yes. At one time, I single-handedly took down a whole battalion. Single-handedly. The grandson said, wow, grandpa, you really, and then where were all your medals and everything? He said, what medal? I was the cook in the kitchen. The cook in the kitchen has the capacity to take down the whole. So now here, same thing. This Kapat Muni teamed up with this Kala Ketu. Kala Ketu comes here as the priest, and he is going to do the cooking now for this whole 10,000 Brahmanas. Now, his intention is not to take down the 10,000 Brahmanas. His intention is to take down Pratapanu only. Now see, you go 2 lines down. See that. विविध मृगन कर आमिष राधा
Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
तेहि महु विप्रमा सुखल साधा
Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
विविध मृगन कर आमिष राधा राम जय राम जय जय राम सब गाइए जय रघुराम राम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. What he did now, what is Kala Ketu? As acting as the priest, acting as the guru. There's a 3-step acting there. Kala Ketu acting as the priest, acting as the guru of, who is Nripa, Tapas Nripa. There's 3 persons removed. What he did? He cooked food for 10,000 Brahmanas. And Vividam Mrigana Kara Amisha Rantha. And he collected the flesh of various types of animals. Various types. Teimau viprama sukhala santha. Santha means sane. Sane, mix it up in that. Bhojana kahu. Saba vipra bolaye. Padapakhari sadar bethaye. And now this Pratapanu put all of them, wash their feet and put them to eat. And as they were about to eat. Without Akashvani, this Ramayana cannot go on, you know. The voice from the space came down. What the voice said? Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Parus jab hi laat, parus jab hi laat, bhay akas bani tehi kala.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Viprind uthi uthi grih jahu.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Hai parihani anna jani khahu.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Parusan jab hi lag mahi pala. Hai akas bani tehi kala.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama.
Syamar Ramachandra ki jai. Parusana jab hi lag mahi pala. When the king now started to serve this food to all of these 10,000 brahmanas, hey, akasabani tehi kala. That time the voice boomed down from the space. Viprabrind, whose voice? Kala Ketu voice only. This is no real Akashvani now. Akashvani usually Brahmaji. Kala Ketu now making, so what powers he had? Viprabrind, uthi uthi, jaga, jao, get up, go home. Like that in Trinidad language. Hey, Badihani, Anna Jani Khahu. Great injustice has happened. Don't eat this food. The voice said loudly. Bhayo rasoi, bhusura masu, sab dvija uthe mani viswasu. When all the brahmanas, whatever was said, they took it as truth. That all the food is mixed with meat, all flesh. Bhupa bhikala mati moha bhulani. Now the king, he was, how your mind will become totally befuddled and confused, and what the response will be? Pratapanu, bhavi vasana mukhabani, taken over by destiny. A word could not come from him. So what has happened? This guru told me all such things. He never told this thing. That the food has meat and this and that. Oh, Bapre. When all of this thing happened, the Brahmanas now, they got really, see, Tulsidashi described. Bole प्रसकोप तब नहीं कछु कीन विचारो राम नहीं कछु कीन विचार जाय निशाचर होहु नृप मूर सहित परिवार सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम बोले विप्रसकोप with great anger now, 10,000 brahmanas speaking at the same time, imagine, and all angry. Unimaginable, Nahi kachuki na vichara. This is the operative word for all of us. First, let me tell you the shrap and come back to this word. Nahi kachuki na vichara. You did not think. This is the word that comes out from their mouth. Jai nisachar ho nripa, king, you go and become a rakshas. Moor sahita parivar. Fool along with your whole family. This is his curse. But the operative word for all of us as sadhakas is nahi kachu kinha vichar. You did not think properly. Remember last night I was telling you when he was supposed to think he was not thinking? Somebody comes and tells you that he has had ekatanu, one body from the dawn of the manifested universe. He has had one body. All avatars and everybody have taken bodies many times and come and gone. But he has had one body. And he lived like an ordinary person, and he said, nobody knows also. You are the only one who knows. Wow. And he fell for that. Therefore, Tulsidas writes, and in Brahmana's words, Nahi kachu kinha vichar. You will see Hanumanji. When you come to Sundarkan, all of these words come over and over again. Words come over and over. Meghnad releases that Brahmastra. Brahmastra is the most deadly weapon known in the scriptures. That is the nuke of the scriptures. And when Meghnad releases that, this word comes. Hanumanji thinks, how fast he thinks. After Meghnad has released, Hanumanji thinks. So how thinking is so important, we are supposed to be able to think also very fast. Think long and fast also, all these qualities of thinking over and over again. When Sita ji is on that tree, under that tree, and Hanumanji is on that tree, that again Hanumanji thinks. If you want to see this vichar word, thinking, reflecting, Hanumanji is the exemplar. Every step of the way he thinks, okay, now what should be the next step? Thinking properly. And now let me just take that a little bit further. In scriptures, ignorance is not an excuse, just exactly like in modern jurisprudence. Ignorance is not an excuse for anything. Like you say, Dasharatha Maharaj shot the boy. He did not know it was a boy. Dasharatha Maharaj is very innocent because he did not know. So what? He was ignorant of the fact that it was a boy. So ignorance is supposed to be the excuse, but that in scripture that is no excuse. In law that is no excuse also. Look here. If this street is made one way, and for the last 40 years you drive in along the street and it is not one way, and they suddenly decide to make it one way, like many streets in Shagonas and all. They suddenly decide to make it one way. And they put a sign there. But out of habit, For the 40 years you're driving in, right? You're not paying any attention to signs. And you're driving there and the police catches you at the end of the street. You cannot stand before a judge and tell the judge, Your Honor, I did not know. That is not a defense in a court also. Meaning what? In law and in scriptures, all Hindu scriptures, you should have no. Meaning what? Meaning to acquire knowledge of situations surrounding your life is incumbent on you. It's mandatory. You should know. Nowhere is this ignorance a defense. And that knowledge will come by this vichar. So therefore the Brahmana said, Nahi kachuki na vichar. You did not think. You should have known this is a Kapat Muni. In other words, you should have known. And there are many things we could do to know also. And see, if he had done right tapas, bhakti, if he had done right satsang, all of that thing, that also would have helped him to know this is Kapat Muni. Means I'm supposed to engage in so many things that will help me to know. But the most important thing for a human being, that thing is vichar, because vichar is the word of the intellect, and that intellect should think. And so last night we saw step by step how this Pratapanu did not think. And one more step now, one more thing. Let me tell you before what actually causes the person not to think? The reason why the person does not think is his eyes are already seeing the glitter of gold somewhere. Glitter of gold means the attractive, whatever it is, attractive thing. So Pratapanu is already seeing, last night we saw that also, he's already seeing conquering and power and longevity, and he's already seeing that. So he's not thinking. You remember that last night? He's seeing the glitter of gold there. So therefore no thinking. Thinking gone out the door. Like Narad, we saw it in Narad also. Narad saw the princess. Then what happened to Vichar? All Vichar? Gone. Same thing. How many stories are coming down? And what happened in the end? Shrap involved. They gave him shrap now to go and become a Samvat Madhyana Satavak. The shrap didn't end there. Go and become Rakshas. In the Doha, they continue. In 1 year, you will be destroyed. Means all your kingdom and everything will be gone. And Jaladatan Rahihi Kula Kou. And there will be nobody left in your family to even do tarpan for you. This is all part of the shrap. Now when the king heard this, now the mind will go back. What? Actually, now he'll start thinking, isn't it? What I did wrong? Where I was supposed to have thought, I did not think properly. Which misstep I made, wrong step, this, that. But then what to do? The horse already gone out of the stable. Too late. One old man sitting on the porch and he's rocking in a rocking chair like that. And he had a long beard and he's smoking a pipe. Typical scene. The old lady from the kitchen, she shouted, "What happened to you, old man? You can't see, look, your beard on fire." He said, "What happened to you? You realize that praying for rain? And your beard on fire already and then now you're praying for rain? Nothing will happen." Now, there, Bharadwaj Sunu, this is 1675. Bharadwaj Sunu Tahi Java Hoi Vidata Bam Dhuri Meru Sama Janaka Jama Tahi Byala Sama Dam. Bharadwaj, remember how the story is going on. Don't forget, you keep in your mind all the time. Yajna is telling to Bharadwaj Muni, the Ramcharitamanas, which is composed by Bhagavan Shiva, and Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati ji. And where did Yajna hear it? From Kaghbhushundi. And where did Kaghbhushundi hear it from? Bhagavan Shiva. So you will see that. Bharadwaj, O Muni, when Brahmaji has decided to bring some of our karma phala, suppose some karma phala is coming to me, right? And Brahmaji has decided to bring that karma phala to me. Now it is time. Nothing can stop. And if it is such that if suppose I have to go blind, Brahmaji will only use one particle of dust to make me blind. It don't have to be like any big thing. You see? Like that. Dhuri meru sama. Janaka. Jama. One particle of dust will become like Mount Meru. When you have some bad karma to face in the house, your own father, Janaka, Jama, your own father will turn out like Yamraj. Anything, he gives also many examples like that. Kalapai. Now see, very interesting now. This sharp is already given. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Kalapai Muni Sunu Soi Raja. Hayo Nisachar Sahit Samaja. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Das Sir Tai Bis Buj Danda.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Rawan Naam Veer Bari Banna.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Bhup Anuj Ari Mardan Nama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Hayus Kumbh Karan Bal Dhama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Sachiv Jo Raha Dharma Ruchi Jasu.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Bhayav Vimatra Bandhu Lagutasu.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Naam Vibhishan Jai Jag Jana.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Vishnu Bhagat Vigyan Nidhana.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Jai Raghurama.
Jai Raghurama.
Jai Sita Rama. Jai Sita
Rama.
Syamar Ramachandra ki jai. Kalapai Muni Sunu Soi Raja. Sunu Muni, O Bharadwaj, listen. In time, what happened? Kalapai, when the right time came, Bhaya Unisachara Sahita Samaja, this Bhanu Pratap and his whole family became Rakshasas. Dasa sirtahi bisa bhujadanda Ravana nama Bira Bari Banda. Pratapanu became Rawan with 10 heads and 20 arms. Not a good state, 10 heads. Imagine this COVID time, he had to wear 10 masks. And he had to buy a paka mask. When he blew his nose, imagine. Ravana nama Veera Baridan Banda. He became Rawan, Pratapanu. Then Bhupa Anuja Arimardana Nama, the Arimardan, his younger brother, Bhayu, so Kumbhakaran Balathama. He became Kumbhakaran. Then, see, for Ravan and Kumbhakaran, Tulsidaji is one line. But for Vibhishan, he uses 2 lines. But Tulsidas ji also, you know who he likes. Because Vibhishan is Bhakta, Vishnu Bhakta. Vishnu Bhagata Vijnana Nithana. He was a devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu, and he was in the storehouse of wisdom. And storehouse of wisdom. And Nama Vibhishan Jahi Jagajana, who the whole world and famous he was. This Vibhishan. Sachivaso Raha Dharmaruchi Jasu. Who became Vibhishan? Dharmaruchi, the very, very noble minister of this Pratapanu. He became Vibhishana. Vayo Matra Bandhu Laghu Tasu. He was the youngest of the 3 brothers. Now, interesting part of all 3 of them. Tulsidashi tells. And all the things in the Ramayana, you have to reflect on at length, not just reflect. Okay, I heard the story. But I tell next one. Tell next story. Each thing has to be reflected on for a very long time. 176 years. Jadapi pulasya kula pavan amal anupuram pavan amal anupa tadapi mahi sur shrap basa bhaye sakal agrup siya par Ramchandra ji ki jai sharanam. Because the world is infinite, the universe is infinite, Bhagwan's powers are infinite, the number of jivas are infinite, situations are infinite, everything in the universe, about the universe is infinite, isn't it? You take numbers, you start from here, 0, how far you can go? Infinity. You go negative this side, how far you can go? Infinity. You take a smallest atom, cut it in half, throw away half. You keep half only. So the half that you have now, you cut it in half again. Throw away half. Now you remove a quarter. Quarter you cut in half. How long you can go on doing that? Till infinity. An atom also contains within it infinity. Because you can go on cutting it piece into piece till infinity. There is no end. Because everything about the universe is infinite like that, the universe participates in the infinitude of the substratum of the universe, which is the absolute reality. Because of this fact, in life and in this universe, any and everything is possible. If you really understand this, you will have no problems with anything in this world. See, let me tell today also, and since this is on the air and all of that sort of thing, people have a lot of biases about many things in this world. So many biases about many things because they do not understand this whole idea of the infinite nature of the world in which we are living. And an infinite universe means everything is possible. And so many various type of matters arise. But you have to remember in your mind that you may not see this person is like this and that person is like that and the other person is like that. But in an infinite universe, you will have every permutation and combination, isn't it? Why are you hot in your head about this person like that and that person like that and this one do that and that one do why? That is all part of the whole infinite universe. The reason why I'm telling all of this thing came up here. Look, listen to Tulsidaji's words. Upajet tadapi pulastya kula pavana amala anup. Even though the three of them were born in the family of Pulastya Muni, whose family was pavan, pure, whose family was amal, stainless, whose family was anup, incomparable. They were born in this family, even though. Now you see, you would expect that one born in that family is like that family. But I'm telling you, every possible permutation and combination possible. Even though born in that Pulastya Muni family, Tulsidaji's words, Tadapi Mahi Sura Shrapa Basa, overwhelmed by the shrap of the Brahmanas, Paye Sakala Agharup, they were the very embodiments of pap only. Agha means pap, sin. So born in this, it means to say, when you see this permutation and the combination of this family and that thing, and you should not have any, it should not be astounding, or it should not be surprising, or, you know. मैं हैरान हो गया, क्यों? सब कुछ हो सकता है. Everything is possible. Why are you हैरान? Why are you surprised and astonished and all? Keen, now see, very interesting part. Keenha Viveda Tapa, you should chant. This is just after 176. This is interesting. Kina Viveda Tapati Nihuvai Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram परम उग्र नहीं परनि सो जाई
श्री राम जय राम
गय उनिकट तप देखी विधाता
श्री राम जय राम
मागहु बर प्रसन्न में दाता करि बिनती पद गही दस सीसा
श्री राम जय राम
हम काहू के मरही न मारे
श्री राम जय राम
बानर मनुज जाति दुई बारे
श्री राम जय राम
जय रघुराम
जय रघुराम
जय सीताराम जय सीताराम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय किन्हीं विविध तपति नीव भाई the three of them Rawan, Kumbhakaran, Vibhishana, who is now respectively in their previous, who was respectively in their previous birth, now Pratapanu, Arimardan and Dharma Ruchi, like that. Rawan, Kumbhakaran, Vibhishan, like this. 3 of them. Kini Bivida Tapa, all sorts of tapas they went and they did. Parama Ugra Nahi Barari So Chai. Severe tapas beyond description. Tulsidashi means. Gayo Nikata Tapa Dekhi Vidata. Then Brahmaji seeing this ghor tapas, Bhayanak tapas. Brahmaji went now first to Rawan. Magahubara Prasannamai Tata. He calls him Tat. My dear, ask for some boon. I am pleased with your tapas. Karibinati Padagahi, that's a sisa. Rawan, that's a sisa. Fell on the feet of Brahmaji. Bole Bachana, Sunahu Jagadisa. He spoke. Listen, oh Jagadish, he calls Brahmaji. Hum kahu ke marahi na mare. Kahu ke marahi na mare. I should not be killed by anyone. Brahmaji said, no, nothing doing. That kind of boon we don't give. Everybody has to die, except if it's ekatanu. Everybody has to die. Some Ravan said, take care. Since everybody has to die, then Banar Manuja Jati Dui Bare. Okay, let me die then at the hand of Banar, monkey or man. Knowing fully well that no man is so strong enough to kill him, or no monkey is so strong, not knowing. Thinking fully well. Thinking that no man is strong enough, or no monkey is strong enough to kill him. The Ravan. Brahmaji, eva mastu. Eva mastu. Tathastu. So be it. Tumabara tapakina. You did great tapas. Therefore, me Brahma mili tehi bara dinha. Brahmaji gave this boon. Now, what about Kumbhakaran and Vibhishan now? I'll see from the next line. पुनि प्रभु कुंभकर्ण पहि गयऊ
श्री राम जय राम जय राम
तेहि बिलोकी मन विस्मय भयऊ
श्री राम जय राम
जो फल नित करब आहारू
श्री राम जय राम
होई सब उजारी संसारू
श्री राम जय राम
सारद प्रेरिता सुमति फेरी
श्री राम जय राम
मानसी नीद मास शत केरी
श्री राम जय राम
जय श्री राम
जय श्री राम
जय रघुराम जय
रघुराम
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. पुनि प्रभु कुंभकर. For those of you who like literature, right? There are people who like literature, and you have to read all of the lines or read the words, and then slowly and carefully. Yeah? Those people who like this type of thing. You see, say go back and read for Rawan. For Rawan, Tulsidas ji writes, Karibinati, Gayau nikata tapa dekhi vidhata. Vidhata means Brahmaji. Yeah? Brahmaji went close to Rawan. After the 3 of them did tapas, Brahmaji went close to Rawan. Fir? Magahu bara prasannamai tata. Tat word is a very affectionate word. Bhagavan Krishna calls Arjuna Tat. Arjuna calls Bhagavan Krishna Tat. Affectionate word. So, throughout the scripture, this word is used affectionately. So, Brahmaji calls Ravan Tat. Right? And he says, ask for some boon. Then, now he goes to Vibhishan. He gives Rawan the boon. Now Tulsidas says, Puni Prabhu Kumbhakaran Pahi Gayavu. Now he went to Kumbhakaran. Fair? Tehi Biloki Mana Bismaya Bhayavu. When he saw Kumbhakaran, Brahmaji said, no tat. Tulsidas' expression, Brahmaji, his mind became befuddled. You mean I was responsible for manifesting you? His mind became, because Brahmaji is responsible for manifesting the whole universe. He doubted himself now. So Brahmaji had a saving grace. Well, only one good thing. I manifested you, you were a baby. I didn't know you would turn out to be like. So his mind was befuddled. Bismaya Bhayavu. Then he thought. He did not see Prabhu Puni Prabhu Kumbhakaran Pahi Gayavu. When he saw him, and like how he told Rawan, ask for some boon, ask for some boon. Quickly told Rawan. When he saw Kumbhakaran, he did not tell you ask for any boon or anything. In his mind now he started thinking. Listen to his Brahmaji's thought. Tulsidaji writes, Jau ehi khala nita karava aharu. If this fella eats every day, if this man eats every day, hoi hi sab ujjahari sansaru, he'll turn this samsara upside down. Because he will eat out everything. Because right, it is described right in the Ramayana. When he woke up, when Rawan woke him up, they have to go and get a herd of bison and a herd of cow, and he eat all before he move, So if he eat every day, when all the animals eaten out, is only human beings left. So this is what Brahmaji is thinking. Brahmaji is thinking, Jau ehi khala, if this wicked fella, nita karava haru, every day he eats, hoi hi sabo jari samsaru, the whole samsara will be destroyed. And then, what they did, the devatas and all, Brahmaji, when he goes anywhere, all the devatas are looking to see what he is doing. Because Brahmaji goes and he gives boons everywhere, and so the devatas are watching to see what boon he'll give to who. Because when he gives boon, for example, he gives boon to Bhasmasur, he gives boon to this, who would have to want all of them, they come back and torment these devatas only. So they are watching. So Brahmaji is here, and he sees this Kumbhakaran, and the devatas are watching. So Brahmaji, he looks at them. Do something. Because now I have to give this fellow a boon. So the devatas quickly went and they called Saraswati Mata. Ma, this fellow going to ask for boon now. Do something. Saraswati came and on the tongue of Kumbhakaran. And Kumbhakaran, he was about to ask for Indrapada. Indrapada. Saraswati twists his tongue, and instead of saying Indra, he said Nidra. Indra means the god of the Swarga. He is the king. He wanted that seat. And that is what he was about to ask for. And Saraswati twisted his tongue and he said Nidra. Nidra means sleep. Then, Sarada prayed, that's what it was. Sarada prerita sumati pheri magesi need master shata keri. 6 months sleep. So instead of getting Indrapada, he got Nidrapada. 6 months of sleep. Then Bhagwan went to Vibhishan. And again he says Tat. He calls Vibhishan Tat. You will look for the word. Vibhishan paas puni kahe पुत्र वर मांगो राम कहे पुत्र वर मांगो देहि मांगे भगवंत पद कमल अमल अनुराग सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. If there's anything for any of us to learn in this world, it's to be learned from Vibhishan. Gaye Vibhishan Paas Puni, Bhagwan Brahmaji went to Vibhishan. Kahe Putra, Bara Magu. Putra, he called them. Tat and Putra and Pita, all three words are used interchangeably. I mean, the Tat word is used for Putra also or used for Pita also. The Tat word. So he calls him Putra. Kahe Putra, tell my dear son, what boon do you ask? Then, Tehi Mageu Bhagavanta Padak Kamala Amala Anuraga. Vibhishan asked for pure love for the lotus feet of Bhagwan Vishnu. That is all I want. And see what Pratapanu was asking for last night. Vain request. Or what he was looking for now. And what Rawan is asking for, same thing. Same disease he had. And there is one more thing you learn. That disease which we have in one lifetime, that does not wipe away that disease. Mental disease I'm talking about. If I have this attachment, or that attachment, or this shortcoming in the mind, or this fear in the mind, or whatever it is there in the mind, that body changes, but I am born with the same mind. So there, he had asked, Pratapanu wanted, there, I don't want this body to have jara, maran, and dukkha. These were the three things. It means to say what? This body should not die. Now Rawan also is asking for the same boon. And he thought he achieved the boon in a technical way. I will die only at the hand of man or monkey, because there is no man or monkey who could kill me. The idea is there are certain laws in nature that nobody could break. No matter how, what scheme or what contrivances I come up with. There are certain things nobody could break. All of us have to follow those certain. And one is to die. We all have to go. Actually, we say the wrong thing. We all have to go. We all going. That is the correct thing actually. Because the day I leave the womb, my only one destination is the tomb. There is no other thing. And if we think we can outwit nature and all, it does not happen. But Vibhishan asked for the most wonderful. I mean, last night also we spoke about asking, and now see this story. This thing is ending with this asking. When we have to ask for something, if we have to ask from Bhagwan for anything, ask like Vibhishan. That is the idea. Tinehi de bar brahma sidhaye harashitate apne griha aaye. And all three of them now, they became happy and came back to their home. Then Tulsidas goes on to tell all the various types of stories. Maya tanuja mandodari nama. See, Mandodari is one of the very famous women in the scriptures. So Tulsidas takes time to mention Mandodari. Maya Danav had a daughter named Mandodari. Paramasundari, most beautiful. Nari Lalama means she was an exemplar among women. Soi Maya Deenhi Ravanahi Ani Hoihi Jatutanapati Jani. She was given by Maya Danav to Rawan as his wife. Harashita Vayonari Palipai Punidu Bandhu Biaisi Jai. And the other two brothers got married at this time. See, their wives are not mentioned. But Mandodari being so great, she is mentioned, Tulsidas, she gives a few lines also. Giritrikuta Eka Sindhu Majhari. And now he describes Rawan. Look here. This Ramcharitmanas so far, how? 78 verse, dohas, multiplied by, let us say 10, more than 1,000, 1,500 verses. And still Ram is not featured yet. Bhagwan Shiva and Parvati, Sati, then Parvati ji, then their marriage, and all of that. Now, all the various people for the background of Ramayana. Half of Balkan finished, and Bhagwan Ram not yet introduced. So the idea is, why all of this is going on, for the avatar to take place, Bhai, Pragata, Kripala, Deena, Dayala, Kausalya, Hitakari. The avatar still hasn't, that's all not come yet. So for all of that to happen, so many things have to be put in place before. In other words, see, what is Bhagwan's word, what are Bhagwan's words in Gita? You all have heard. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna
Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Yada yatha hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Abhyathanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Shri Krishna
Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam.
Shri Krishna Sharanam
Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Syavar, Krishna Kanhaya Lal ki jai. Same Bhagavan Vishnu only if I say Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. So, Bhagavan is telling there, the avatar takes place when? When there is a glani of dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. There is a decline and a destruction of dharma. Then he comes, isn't it? So if there is no Ravan to destroy dharma, then Bhagavan also will not come. So the avatar also comes when there is somebody, a dharmi like Ravan, who destroys dharma, and therefore, in the Ramayana, the story of Ravan is coming before the story of Ram. We have to see how all the dharma really declined, and then that declension of dharma, or declining of the dharma, causes the avatar to come forth. You see? Therefore it comes first. If you ask why. Now he goes on to tell all about, after Mandodari, Trikuta, the mountain, and Kautuki, and Ravan's all exploits and all the things he did on this world. And if you see 179, Ravan was so powerful, so majestic, so knowledgeable, so everything quality he had. But inside, Rakshas, Swabhav also. See, 179, our last for tonight. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Kautuk kahi kailas puni, line si jai uthai, manahu taule nij bahubala, chala bahut sukh pai siyavar.
Ramachandra ki jai Sharanam Sita Rama. Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai Sharanam Sita Rama.
Siyavar
Ramachandra Ji Jai Sharanam
Ravan's glory and his reign and his achievements and all of these things is described in this section. And this is one of these things, but he just went there, Bhagwan Shiva sitting on Kailash Parvat and Parvati ji there. He just went to Tulsi Kautukahi, playingly, sportingly. Kailash Puni, Leen Hesi, Jai Uthai. He lift up Kailash Parvat with Bhagwan Shiva sitting on it. And Parvati said, where is that? Earthquake. Bhagwan Shiva said, no, Devi, mera chela aa gaya. Chela came. Chela come. How you know the chela reach? He lift up the whole mountain too. Very interesting thing. Ravan considered Lord Shiva as his guru. Because you know, in worldly, Ravan have no worldly guru. Lord Shiva is his guru. Second interesting thing, Lord Shiva has never taught one single thing to Ravan. Very unfortunate is that disciple who has not learned a single thing from his guru. First thing, Ravan did not learn anything from the guru. The guru has never given any upadesh anywhere to Ravan. Bhagwan Shiva has given upadesh to Parvati ji, to Sati, to so many, to Kakbhushundi, to every, but he never gave to Ravan. And that disciple who has not received teaching from his guru, very unfortunate character. But Guru, Chela came, Parvati ji said, Lord Shiva said to Parvati ji. But this is describing Ravan's glory. Like that, his adharmas are also described. All the wrong, bad things that he did. Now this is going to pave the way for the avatar. You see, this is why the story is unfolding like this. The avatar, Bhagwan just doesn't come because, you know, it's Sunday and he dress up nice and things and go, so just go down the road and take a stroll. Just like that, Bhagwan will come or what? No, don't happen. Huh? All right. So we'll stop here tonight. I want to say a very, very special thank you to our dear Pandit Ramesh Tiwari ji, who I have known for such a long time, And also haven't seen you in a long time, so good that we have come here. Thank you so much. And thank you and all the committee members and everybody for allowing the satsang to happen. I was telling last night in Esperanza that in these type of times we need more satsang. Instead of having less satsang, we need more satsang. Yeah? So very important. Okay. There are a few technical things that or what we call formalities that we have to go through here. Today's Doha chanting was done by Vishala Sivrat again, who did last night. Thank you, Vishala, for your chanting. Every temple that we go to, we are giving a little token. This is a flash drive with the whole Ramayana, which we did in 2017, 2018. It's more than 500 hours in this flash drive. And every line is sung and every line is explained in English. So you can play it in your car, in the house, you can share it with the members of the temple. So I want to call on Panditji to receive this on behalf of the temple and from the side of Chinmaya Mission. We'll also ask Pandit to say a few words, and then we will have Arti Ityadi.
Devotees, tonight again presents an opportunity for us to develop our mental capacity with the type of knowledge that we got tonight from Swamiji. Swami has been here before. When my wife was alive, her picture is next to Tulsidas here. When my wife was alive, she heard Swamiji for the first time. And she says that here is a Swami who is a Trinidadian like us and is able to talk a language that we understand. He's able to communicate with us. Obviously, she was referring to the many Swamis who are exported from India to Trinidad and lay their claim on Dharma. But at my age now, nearing 80, Swami, and at my age, I started with Ramcharitamanas when I was a little boy. I was 7 years accompanying my father in satsang in Point 14 where I was born. And I still enjoy the Ramayana. But when Swamiji reads it, it's a different spell that comes over you. When you get that Shakti from the words that comes from him, it's a different feeling of the Ramcharitamanas that enters into your air and gives you a feeling of Bhakti. And to you, Swami, again, I truly appreciate your coming to the Edinburgh Hindu Temple and the group and my bhaiya, he disappeared.
Not
Oh, he's there. Yes, I'm truly, truly appreciative of this opportunity, and I hope, Swamiji, as long as I live, I will have the opportunity again to be led by God. Thank you.
Jai Shri Ram. Thank you. I want to make two quick announcements. One is we are having on the 6th of March from 12 to 4 p.m. Jalpan extravaganza at the ashram. This will be a fundraiser for the ashram, just quite akin to our tea party and food fair and all that kind of thing. Jalpan extravaganza on 6th March. Okay? All right. For all those, we're still on air. Just want to make us a little request. Just about 4 days ago, we got an opportunity from one of the local contractors near the ashram. Somebody was excavating, and the contractor told me that we can get landfill at a very good price. So we have a piece of land there in the ashram that needed about 300 loads of landfill, and we got it at $300 a load, which is a very good price nowadays with all things gone up and everything like that. So today they completed bringing 272 loads. And therefore, so far we need to pay the contractor 72, how much? 240 loads, I think, 242. We have to pay the contractor today, when I added up, $72,000. $72,000. And you know, this time, cash is not so easy to come by. So I am making an appeal now to all mission members all across, and all devotees and all those who are listening and all. We only have to get 72 people to give us 1,000 each, isn't it? 72 people to give 1,000 each. I think that is very, very achievable, not at all difficult. If we just get 72 people to pay off the bill. Now tomorrow, the contractor will be coming in the ashram. I don't know what I would tell him, but I would tell him something. But this is an appeal to 72 kind-hearted people out there, or 144, 500, isn't it? Or any combination or permutation. Okay. The contractor fellow also is a very, very wonderful man, and whenever he has anything that can benefit the ashram like that, quickly he comes and he tells me. All right. So those of you who can manage that little donation, please do so, so we can pay off this man. All right. आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाइए, कल देखेंगे. कल कहाँ है? Tomorrow at the ashram. Tomorrow is at the ashram. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद. सुख सनकादि शेष अरु सारद. वरनि पवन सुत कीरति की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी.
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र तब ग्रंथन को रस. मुनिजन धन संतन को सर्वस. सार अंश सम्मत सबई.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी. अर्घत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी. व्यास आदि कवि वर्ज बखानी. गाज भूषुंडि गरुड़ गई.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस पीकी. सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की. दलन रोग भव मूरियमी की. दात मात सब विधि तुलसी की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की.
जय जय राम। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पदे हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम तत्सत। Please have a look at our book stall on your way out. There are several wonderful titles. Knowledge to Freedom, Sankat Mochan. Very popular books. Shishu Vihar for children, many titles are there. So have a look on your way out and see you tomorrow.